Pigou Report. The work of renowned economist Arthur Cecil Pigou is complete. With much fanfare, he has submitted a report officially entitled The Restoration of Private Enterprise to British Society to the Parliament. In it, Pigou outlines a series of steps to fairly privatise British businesses out of the trade unions, but without turning them all back over control of the wealthy. Most important in this step is the monetary reform, including the establishment of a new system of interest-free credit issues through the new government banking agency. While the report is very popular with the government, it's received a lot of criticism from the public, with many declaring it will simply lead to a new system of inequality. The government has, however, so far dismissed these voices as belonging to the syndicalist agitators. Alright then. Hey, Minimorph. And what else can we get? Could start working on special forces, but frankly we haven't really got any, so there's no point. I think we're going to go and get the logistics company instead. One more. There we go. Now we can fight the syndicalist resistance, which will let us start eroding their strength. No, I think I want to continue working on these. This will get me some more war support, which will get us to 96%, which gives us even more division defense on core. So we actually have 28% division defense on core at the moment, which is quite a lot. Oops. Land Settlement Act. Lots of veterans will now be returning home to Britain, and with so much land now without holders, it makes sense to grant the land to these soldiers as a form of thanks from the government. Not to mention that it ensures the land doesn't remain fallow for want of somebody to work it. Alright, so it looks like we're making fairly quick work of any attacks. German units are really starting to look quite weakened, which is almost certainly going to be manpower issues. Meanwhile, Japan continues to push into Russia. Are there any multiplayer Heart of Iron scheduled? Not yet. Nope, not yet. So maybe I should look into that. The next time that I'm potentially going to be away is going to be the 19th of April. I'll think about it. Bad AI probably abandoned the HMS Faceless due to the overpowering awesomeness only being able to be handled by Mordred. I mean, possibly. I wouldn't hold my hopes up. Oh. They're hitting us pretty hard here again. Let's bring in the tanks, see what they can do for us. Especially now that we have the mediums. New Chief of Staff. So we've begun to restructure the British Armed Forces. The first priority should be to appoint a new Chief of Staff. So we can bring in Ironside, who gives us max entrenchment plus 10 for construction speed, coastal 4 construction speed anti-air. Harold Alexander, which is division organisation recovery. Alan Brooke, which is recruitable population, infantry, attack and defence. Or John Dill, which is production cost reduction for artillery and then increased artillery attack and defence. We don't use a huge amount of artillery. We don't use a huge amount of infantry either. I think this has kind of got to be Harold Alexander. Division organisation recovery rate. Turned out to be a fairly easy defense in the end. Okay, next up, reform the Royal Navy. The British Royal Navy was once one of the grandest, most prestigious fleets in the entire world, and now we must rebuild it from scratch. It will be a Herculean task, but one that we cannot walk away from. Yeah, Austria's been reunified for a while, I think. Oh, naval invasion. Canadians are here. Apparently unopposed. Portugal's attacking, apparently unopposed. This could be it. This could be the tide turning. Especially because Canada's using quite a few of my excellent tank divisions, which I left them. And a southern attack as well. This is it. This is D-Day. All of the Canadians have been hanging out in Britain are going to be able to join that. Isle of Man might be about to fall. They're having to hit me with 21 divisions to do it, though. 21!
Keep your distance! Taking cover!
All we need is for them to all withdraw at the same time. Which I don't think is going to happen. They are doing a bucket load of damage. You know what I could do? Put you on a big defense. See if we can actually force them to stop attacking. 867 defense now. Australasian aid has arrived. Excellent. That Australasian aid is really adding up. New Towns Act. These are all mediums. Oh, that's a large. 300. In fact, both of those are larges. I think I might wait until we get the 300s. Just be a little bit more patient. Looks like they're not getting naval assistance any longer. Muscati aid arrives. And there's the 300s. Boom. Alright, so, which one do we want to choose? Farming subsidies or business subsidies? Or the Veteran Employment Act? I actually really like the idea of the Veteran Employment Act, so I think we're going to do that. Oh, hold on. Or we could do the Central Credit Act to reduce the legacy of the revolution even further. Oh, we don't actually have it anymore. Well then, I would say the Veteran Employment Act in that case. We have thousands and thousands of soldiers, not to mention returning exiles who need to be put to work. There are currently lots for them to do, but a guiding agency would help ease the process and also prevent the exiles from being unfairly shut out of places that might view them with hostility. No, that bug's gone away now. I can prove it. Damn it, it's back again. It went away for a while because it had a scroll bar. How did I view that? I'm serious, it went away. Why is it back again? Weekly change, Legacy of the Revolution, -0.2. Yeah, it's still there. Damn it. It literally went away. There's a scroll bar. No, 17% something different. It's the Weekly change. Legacy of the Revolution, minus 0.2. The 17% something else. That's Syndicalist Resistance, which is... yeah, another one that's not displaying. Let me just reload this. Because it was definitely not there for a while. Might take a game restart to get rid of it properly. Yeah, I think I might. Now I know. West Indies are ready to arrive, thank you very much. Much obliged to you all.
Come on, move out.
And then there were 19. Engineer company is done. It's January 45. So let's go for the field hospital and the engineers in that case.
Come on, move out.
They're going to do it, the absolute madmen. Chief of the Royal Navy. Now that the attention is turned towards restructuring the Royal Navy, let us decide who shall be responsible for its future. So we've got Mountbatten, who is the submarine commander. We've got Dudley Pound, who is naval speed, screen attack, screen defense. Now, I have a feeling we're going to be using a lot of screens. Roger Keyes is production cost of convoys and also more special forces. Or Philip Vian, which is max range and projection. No, I think we're going to go with the naval speed, screen attack and defense. Dudley Pound. And then next we're going to go for the fleets in exile. Upon the fall of the United Kingdom in 1926, the Pacific and Atlantic fleets went to Australasia and Canada respectively. While those ships are either gone or have been rebuilt so much they truly belong to their new countries, Australasia and Canada are willing to help us refurbish some older ships for our use now. Do it. Last Stand on the Isle of Man is pretty awesome. They're doing a pretty good job. And because their defense is so huge versus the attackers, they're not actually taking a huge amount of strength damage, despite the damage that they are inflicting. Logistics company and their artillery, which we are going to start upgrading right now. And let's get the last of the artillery upgrades. Let's also get the AA upgrades going for the ships, and then also radar.
Come on, move out.
16. $15. We can pretty much keep this up indefinitely, I think. This has got to be giving Adrian de Viat a huge amount of experience too. We being actually invaded anywhere else? No. If you were a player, this would be so frustrating. It's like, it's been on 1% forever! How have they not died yet? I mean, these units really are quite weak, except for this Dutch unit. which are probably actual Marines. They're probably the only ones that have actually done any actual damage to us, actually. I don't know why I'm saying actually so often. And again. More defenses. More! Keep on sending in more troops. The only other thing I could do would be ship in some more units. They're now super veteran. Although they would arrive with no organization. Looks like we're holding everywhere else. How are the casualties looking? We've lost 7.9 million, they've lost 4.5. Who the hell lost that much? Unless China's in the fight yet. No, it's Japan. They've taken 1.3 million casualties against Germany. How's Russia doing? Yeah. They're kind of kicking our asses in terms of manpower losses. Except for me, of course. Yeah, I have no ships. I'm trying desperately to get some. But it's a process. I mean, the only other thing I could do would be move air forces to defend this, which I could actually do. Well, let's do that. Let's give you an air force. I would be pissed as a player. Yeah. Yeah. And there it is. The fleet's in exile. Let's see what we can get. So we got the Canadian refurbishment program. And I left that on pause for a while, which may well have just finished this off. Organization's down to 6. Dockyard output minus 50%. Consumer goods factories 10%. Unlocks decision to deploy the refurbished ships. Let's go to the Canadians first. Gives us 5,000 manpower and then also, hopefully, some ships.
Keep on moving!
You continue defending. They've still got 16 divisions attacking us. But our unit strength is really getting quite low. Meanwhile, I'm wondering if we want to reform the British Army. This will increase the strength of our units. And also give us a free British Army chief. Which will hopefully be Vareka. And then we'll go Marconi. The British Army has been under the syndicalist management for 20 years, inundating our soldiers with propaganda and useless tactics. We will have to rebuild the entire organization from scratch.
Taking aim!
Denied. They just keep on throwing more naval invasions in at us, unfortunately. So it is getting absolutely ruined in terms of damage. They're fighting on. Yeah, I know. I'll take a look in a minute, Cleanus. A little bit busy with other things. IEDC investment. The IDC is willing to invest in the United Kingdom, though it does not build any particular British state in so much as boost our overall industrial capacity through the Entente's economic cooperation. It's not paused. These factories remain, and so long as our participation in the Alliance persists. In what direction shall we encourage this new investment? Military factories or civilian factories? I'm going to continue with the civilians because I'm going to continue to try to build up our industrial strength.
Keep your distance.
And we have a new technology, which is going to be 1945 recon. Lend-leasing ships should be a thing. America gave destroyers during World War II. I mean, those are represented through the destroyers for bases focus, but just generally giving ships away isn't. Yeah, despite our best efforts, I don't think we're going to hold here. They're down to just 12 units, but these all seem pretty strong. Alas! The 10th Royal Guard Infantry did a hell of a job. I think it's time we got you out of there.
Taking cover.
Yeah, off they go. And they're home. Alright, let's leave you in Newcastle, because Newcastle does get attacked quite frequently. And you're right, they do deserve a new name. What should we call them? Can you bring in more divisions? Any more divisions that arrive would be there with 0 man. If you ship new divisions from one port to another port, they arrive as 0 organization. The only time that's not true is when it's a naval invasion. I don't think you can naval invade your own territory. The heroes of man. I like it. Okay. The heroes of man. A named unit. Ooh, Auchinleck is almost a trickster. Doesn't that mean you can then get Improv Expert? Yeah, because you're already a Mountaineer. Sweet! That's going to be a good upgrade. Right, where is the overview? There needs to be an easier way of getting to this. So Sad Brian we already did. Colinus, you had one recently, didn't you? Away Kent. We're going to say Away Kent. What to say about Away Kent? I think you're known by a different name on YouTube, right? I just want to confirm this. What's your YouTube name? Because I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I just want to make sure. In the meantime, we can go and get some more anti-air going. And then we still need more political power before we can start working on the Australians. Alright then. I do wonder if we should start trying to get some Royal Marine divisions going, so that we can cause a little bit of chaos of our own. You know what? I like that idea. Especially because these naval invasions do actually seem to be having an impact. Like, quite a big impact. Look how many troops the Entente's allocating to this. And here in Africa. I mean, we could attack, like, Denmark or something and just cause them issues. Once we've taken back the Isle of Man, of course. Chief of the British Army. So we can have Ironside, who didn't get to be Chief of Staff, but he still wants to be in charge of the army. Miles Dempsey, who gives us Organisation Supply Consumption, or John Dill, Supply Consumption and Division Defence. I mean, Dempsey is a bit of a legend from the Road to 56 game. He was my Field Marshal, and he was excellent at that job. I'm going to bring in Dempsey because of that. Unfortunately, we didn't get Vareka, which is a little annoying. Seeing as we are going to be going pretty mechanized. Why not attack Ireland? Because Ireland's still neutral. Alright, next up, Marconi. Definitely. Marconi Electronics is one of the largest companies still active in the United Kingdom. They are relieved to have been released from their syndicalist shackles and are so willing to return the favour by giving the government a favourable deal in restarting the country's manufacturing sector. Alright then. Alright, well, as Kent has not said anything yet, we should instead sing the praises of Colinus. Trying to remember what I said about you last time. It's the downside of doing 2 shout-outs in short succession. Because I'm not very good at these. It's an interesting reward, I'm just not very good at them. So, Colinus. You are the Colin that lives in all of us. The Colin of the US, although... Are you American? You're not Canadian. I think you're American. So it could be Colin US, and you've just forgotten the A. I'm not sure. Yep, you are American? Yes, you are. It's Faceless I was thinking of, that is Canadian. Okay. So, you are the Colin of the US. The Colin of the USA. Yeah. Stuff. I think I spoke about last time that you are here quite frequently. So I'm going to say that you are the Colin that lives in all of us. So all hail the Colin of us. Our Colin. Colinus. Hail to Colinus. Go on, chat. Let's hail to Colinus. Huzzah!